All right, ladies and gentlemen, Melina Stuns. All right, guys. My dad would have been so proud of me, especially if I got to be famous. I really wanted my parents to see me get famous. And I mean, when my mom was alive, I was not pursuing much of anything. I mean, I was in school, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to achieve. I didn't know if I could achieve much of anything. I really had a different personality at that time. I had a really different uh, viewpoint on life. So, I mean, I was happy. I wasn't like sad or anything, but I really felt differently. And it's kind of like, well, different times bring different things. And, I was more mature. I was young. I was 26. I mean, that's still young enough to be like, that's still young enough to not be sure what your future holds and everything like that. And when you're not pursuing your career just yet, you don't know what you're going to do. So, so guys, I really want to say thank you to all you guys for being there for me through this difficult time. And I know a lot of you probably know my dad, and you probably are like, "Aw," and it's really sad. So thank you all for that, and obviously he's been through the fame game. He's been through all that. So he's really been there. He knows what it's all about. And it would have been really nice for him to get famous or to see me be famous or have the money that he should have had. He was really talented. He was really kind. He deserved it. He didn't. He believed in being natural as well. He didn't like plastic surgery or anything like that. He wouldn't. He obviously couldn't afford it, but he wouldn't have done it even if he could afford it. My dad was the real deal. He was what people should be like, and I'm really missing that. But his legacy will live on, and I kind of want to say to people that this is a difficult time. So if you're grieving, I understand. I'm grieving too, like crazy. So a lot of people are grieving over this. My dad was very important, um, and he really felt. He really didn't have much, and it's really sad. But I hope he had. I hope he felt like his life was very difficult. I mean, he had very difficult situations a lot of times. Everything was new to him. He was an immigrant, so for everything was new and challenging. He always had something to deal with. And for him, I think it's really important that when I become successful and famous, that I make sure that his legacy lives on. I will. Now, I said I was going to be putting videotapes of him on today, but I will do that on the weekend. All right, because I have to filter through them and make sure I put the good ones on, and see which ones are good. And they're all good, I'm sure, but I have to see which ones are him. 'Cause some of them might be videos that they recorded of somebody else. So I have to find the ones that are him and make sure I put those through, and then you guys will see him perform. And he was very, very good. And a lot of people know him. They knew him and they knew how talented he was, and he was very giving and very kind. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm really grateful to you guys for having me get through this difficult time. I'm really thankful. And obviously people like me go through things. I hadn't gone through anything really for a long time because I'm always happy, and I'll still be happy, but I mean, this is a difficult time, so I want to make sure that I address it and talk about it and share with you guys. And I mean, people are like, well, it's your dad. Your dad's 84. It happens. And yes, that's true. And some people are like, well, when my dad died, he was 50 and or whatever. So I understand people are dealing with different things. And maybe they're like, he lived a good life, be thankful. So I'm definitely thankful, and I'm really happy about that. Now, the news of his death is very new, and people are very, kind of like people are very upset. I'm sure. Like I haven't talked to a lot of people about this, but his friends are very upset. They're very like they were close to him. A lot of his friends knew him for many years since he moved here. So, you know, he kind of like had his life centered on being an immigrant. Anyway, so thank you all for watching. I will be discussing my dad further, but I'll try to have other videos too, so that if you don't like those videos, I mean, but who wouldn't, right? Like, my dad was important. I think people that like me probably know about my dad too, a lot of them. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Bye now. Click and subscribe.